everybody? It's Coach Ross with Coach Ross Football here. This is now episode 5 of Back to the Basics in the Air Raid Offense. Today we're going to be talking about the corner concept or snag concept in the passing game, the quick game. I like to use it as a quick game. But before we get started with this video, if you enjoy this content, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel grow. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I've also linked in the description all the other episodes if you want to go and check those out. So now let's get into talking about the corner concept. The first stop we're going to do here is looking at the checklist of what we've already talked about. As you can see, anything is with asterisks is the episodes that I've already covered here. The last episode we talked about was the stick concept, and typically you can consider stick and corner essentially the same play. Obviously, some minor differences, but eventually it turns into the same place. It's almost like brother and sister. So as you can see, corner/snag is underlined, so that is the video we are going to talk about next. As you can see, there's quite a few little topics I want to cover in this series, so it's going to be a long series. Trying to keep the videos down as far as time length, because I know in the past my videos have gotten rather long, so I'm trying to keep them as short as I possibly can, as well as giving as much information based on my opinion that I can. So I will be getting to the run game probably a little bit into the next couple of videos here, just to kind of just switch up. So I'm not going in any particular order on this checklist, but do want to hit everything. And I want to try and get it done. Hopefully this entire series, hopefully done before real spring football starts for y'all. So again, like I said, we are covering corner, so we will get into it right now. I just wanted to go back to this slide real quick here, talking about concept rules. These concept rules essentially, again, apply to concepts that take place basically on one side of the formation. So that excludes mesh, Y cross, shallow cross, things like, plays like that. These concept rules don't necessarily apply. So those will have their own set of rules for themselves. I just want to go back to these rules can be used for each quick game passing concept. Example: stick, corner, fade out, stick wheel. Does not include four verts, shallow, cross, mesh, Y cross. These are more typical drop back concepts that utilize both sides of the formation to create their route combinations. Backside of the concept remains the same, double slants. QB has the freedom to throw backside immediately if he sees an open receiver pre-snap. QB's pre-snap diagnosis is extremely important. 80% of the full picture will be given pre-snap from the defense. And again, that's my opinion. That's obviously not guaranteed. QB needs to ask himself some general questions. Do I have an open receiver right now? Is the defense blitzing? And if so, can I replace the blitz with a throw? And then is the backside open? So those are the rules that we try and look for in all our concept plays that deal with one side of the formation. I just wanted to go back to this slide real quick here, talking about concept rules. These concept rules essentially, again, apply to concepts that take place basically on one side of the formation. So that excludes mesh, Y cross, shallow cross, things like, plays like that. These concept rules don't necessarily apply. So those will have their own set of rules for themselves. I just want to go back to these rules can be used for each quick game passing concept. Example: stick, corner, fade out, stick wheel. Does not include four verts, shallow, cross, mesh, Y cross. These are more typical drop back concepts that utilize both sides of the formation to create their route combinations. Backside of the concept remains the same, double slants. QB has the freedom to throw backside immediately if he sees an open receiver pre-snap. QB's pre-snap diagnosis is extremely important. 80% of the full picture will be given pre-snap from the defense. And again, that's my opinion. That's obviously not guaranteed. QB needs to ask himself some general questions. Do I have an open receiver right now? Is the defense blitzing? And if so, can I replace the blitz with a throw? And then is the backside open? So those are the rules that we try and look for in all our concept plays that deal with one side of the formation. This is just a continuation of the rules. I know this one's a little bit longer here. So wide receiver rules here. Concept side, wide receiver number 1 is the snag / slant and sit route. He needs to get inside release. 1 to 2 steps, then breaking to the inside for the slant and aiming for the space in between the nearest middle linebacker and overhead defender, just settling up in that space. Basically just like a long stick route. And just trying to find that space. If that overhang defender bails on the swing or flat route, then obviously that space is going to open up a little bit sooner. He can settle up quicker. Wide receiver number two, corner route, 5 to 7 steps, not yards. I like to teach it in steps so that they can count their steps, because a lot of times it's really hard to visualize yardage. So try and just keep it with steps. It keeps it simple for them to understand. And during repping through practice, they start getting it down by steps, and it becomes really fluent. Plant with that inside foot. Aiming point for or landmark is dependent on positioning of the field. So if we are outside the red zone, which means 20-yard lines and going in, 20-yard line and going in, wide receivers aim for the front pylon, and inside the red zone, it shifts to the back pylon. Okay, so that's kind of universal for other air raid coaches you hear probably online or otherwhere, that they all aim at the pylon. Pylons have, you got to give your receivers a landmark, because it's harder to just say, hey, run to this point of the field if they don't have something to aim at. And so try and give them a landmark. So for the corner route, easy to give them a landmark as far as the front or back pylon. Running back, the swing route, running back just turns, gets into the space parallel to the line of scrimmage, but not crossing the line of scrimmage unless they have the ball. Wide receiver number three, running that flat route, wide receiver turns immediately, turn toward the sideline, and runs parallel with the line of scrimmage, looking over the shoulder nearest to the line of scrimmage. So they're not going to look to the inside close to the defense. They're going to look away for the ball. Depth should be 1 yard or less. It's a quick, fast route. They're just getting to the sideline. And if they're getting the ball, then they can immediately just turn upfield, because they're going to have the space to do so. Here are a couple of looks at some of our concepts that have different formations here. On the left, you can see we have our ace, our standard 2x2 set. And on the right there, we have our blue set, which we can be just switched over blue and green back and forth. That's our 2-back set right there. You can see the route combinations. Essentially, a lot of these are going to look the same as stick. You just replace that slot receiver from a stick route to now the corner route. So a lot of these are going to look the same. If you've seen my previous video about the stick, it's going to look very similar to that one. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this. But as you can see, those are the route combinations there. Again, I like to have every single receiver in a route, so it gives the quarterback more options. Here is an example of our bunch. Again, I'm showing you out early. It's the same with late. Now there's 2 different variations here, as you can see from corner. I've tried both. In my opinion, there's no set one. If I was to prefer which one I like, I would probably take the one on the left where I have Z at the top of the bunch, and Y down in the, not necessarily in the slot, but off the line of scrimmage. H is always going to stay in that same spot right inside, so you can kind of flip-flop Y and Z right there. The reason I like the one more so on the left is because I just like those little crossing routes. Having the receivers cross, I feel it just gives a little bit added disguise. It adds a little bit level of confusion to the defense. Maybe, based on their coverage or based on their assignments, they struggle to figure out who the responsibility and where the responsibility is. So if I was the preference, I would probably take the one on the left. Now, I've had success with the one on the right as well. It's kind of just your personal preference, I guess you would say. There are examples out of early and then our empty. It's essentially the same thing as far as a 3x1 set there. The only thing different, just like when you saw with stick with our empty, typically we put F in the middle, because typically F and H are our best athletes. Now, if we were to switch empty to the other side, F would still stay into the middle, and then obviously that would switch Z to the inside receiver. So F always would be our middle receiver in our empty set. And you can see the 3x1 route combinations are the same. Here's an example of our open formation right here. This is where we put Z into a more of a sniffer back / tight end, H back. And you can see the route combinations. We can run it to either side of the open formation. We can run it to the slot receiver side. We can run it to we can make it turn into almost to a 3x1 set. We can actually run, if we really wanted to, we could run corner with our Z as a slot, basically out of that 2x2 set from there. However, we don't run this route combination as much, or we don't run this concept as much with the Z by himself as that inside receiver on the 2x2 set. We don't run it as much. I have in the past, and I've had success with it, but this is more standard towards, they're putting that Z as that inside receiver in a 3x1. or just running it away from the sniffer back receiver. So, and that you can see there's a little bit of a difference as far as Z running a slant on that backside there on the left. A little bit harder to do. You could turn it in potentially to a hitch or a stick route, but since I had that outside receiver breaking the inside, I like to have that easy route to the outside, kind of just taking over the space that wide receiver is vacating. So we are looking at our corner concept out of our ace formation, which is our 2x2 set. So I'm gonna kind of go over it here. So based on this situation here, again, quarterback's first rule is to look for the safeties, locate the safeties, and figure out where they are lined up, how many there are. So based on this situation right here with a single high safety, quarterback knows that right now the concept side is essentially a go with all three routes in play. But again, quarterback does have the option of throwing the slants in on the backside if there is free yardage, which based on this leverage in this situation, he potentially could hit the Y on a safe slant right there, especially if this inside guy goes with with Z on the inside slant as well. So, but if we're going to talk concept side. So we're going to focus here. Quarterback's also going to look at the leverage of the corner right now. Based on this leverage right here, he's about 7 yards off. Little iffy if you want to throw the corner out, because potentially if he's that far off the ball, he might be lining up into getting to a drop of a cover 3 zone here. But quarterback still post snap will take his first peek here to see what this corner is doing. If this corner does anything but bail, he's throwing that corner out. So you can see the path I put for the corner. He's actually going to just chase in on the slant and sit. If quarterback sees him move in this way like that, then he's going to turn around and he's going to throw the corner route automatically, because safety is not an issue right there. That's the open grass that we want to get to. But if this corner, again, drops out into a cover 3 zone, that corner route is now dead. He looks here, and essentially the play is just stick. Okay, the play is just stick here. So again, same rules apply. If this player goes out, we throw in. If he stays in, we throw out. Okay, so if he chases the swing, we throw the slant and sit, or long stick route, if you want to call it that, in behind him. If he stays here, we throw the running back on the swing route. I'm just going to show you this in motion here, and then we're going to do a little something different here, and I'm going to try this and see how it looks. So just putting these players in motion here like this, and you can run the routes. If we push play on this, you can see where the opening space is for the H, and I'll run it back one more time here. Just based on it, I just created these paths here. Just based on this right now, just based on this situation right here, quarterback again will peek the corner, all right, and that corner dives in, so he knows right now that corner route is open. Okay, so now we can show you this in 3D here, just to kind of get a look at it, just to see what we're looking at here. We're actually going to back it up a little bit. I'm going to turn concept side here, just so you can see what we're looking at here. All right, so again, based on this situation right here, there's the safety corner overhang. So essentially this is what was in play right here. Eyes first here, eyes second here. So eyes of the corner, he comes in, he dives. So right now quarterback knows, all right, the corner route is open, and there's the spacing behind it, especially if safety stays in a deep safety or deep middle safety. He stays in the middle of the field there. So you can see that it's wide open. And we'll run it through one more time just to show you. There's the positioning right there. So I hope that kind of gives you a little bit more of a visualization right there to see what you're looking at. Here's just another example I wanted to show you. This is just on the opposite side here. Same idea, same concept, same reads. Everything's the same. But the only thing is the different path that I showed you for the corner. So I'll put it in motion here first, just to show you what it looks like. Quarterback is going to read that corner. He bails. Now he's looking here. He sees this runner or linebacker, excuse me, shoot out after the swing. He knows that the slant and sit is right in behind it. So that, and you can also see right here that these two linebackers bail out. So you have the open space right there for the slant and slit. And we'll put it into 3D as well. So we're gonna look concept side on this side now. All right, so again, eyes first to this corner right here. He's got about 5, maybe 6 yards leverage right now, so it's kind of iffy on where he's going to be positioned or what he's going to do. He may be in a cover 2, maybe in a cover 3. That's kind of that little gray area as far as where they are lined up. It's off the ball. But if you put it in motion, he looks there. He immediately drops out. Okay, immediately drops out. So the quarterback sees that drop right there. His eyes now go here. He can already see that he's chasing the running back. And here comes the slant and sit right in behind it right here. And this is where the grass is that'll be available. That we're taking advantage of right there. So play for you again. Corner bails, linebacker chases. There's a slant sit right behind it. So I hope this helps, and it kind of gives you a little bit more of a visualization of the play itself and kind of like a on field look at it. So I hope this helps. So this is going to wrap up this video here. This was again episode 5, talking about the corner concept or the snag concept. All videos, all previous episodes for the Back to the Basics series that I'm doing are linked in the description below. If you like this content, if you like this video, drop it a like. It'll really help the channel grow, really help me out. Also, if you want more content, I plan on doing more stuff here in the near future. Again, like I said in the beginning of this video, I want to try and get this series done before real spring ball starts up. So I can have this for you guys if you guys are interested in installing the air raid offense into your offense this upcoming football season. So look forward to seeing you in the next video. Kind of planning and thinking about doing some running game stuff next video. So look forward to seeing you in the next video. Till then, take care, guys.